Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I surely did. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, relatives believe the attack was linked to Randy's dealing with drugs. Horror and fear rocked a community in St. Madeleine yesterday after gunmen stormed a family home, killing a mother and her son and critically injuring two other relatives. Gracelyn Rambaran, 48, was shot in the head and died in their home, while her son, Randy Rampersad, 25, was shot dead as he ran for his life. In a desperate attempt to defend himself and his family, Rambaran's husband, Vijay Rampersad, grabbed a cutlass, but he was also shot in the head. The 58-year-old man is now fighting for his life at the San Fernando General Hospital. Randy's 22-year-old wife was also seriously injured. The three gunmen reportedly entered the family's home at Peterloo Street in Friendship Village sometime after 2 a.m. by prying open a door. You're even securing a place and you're still not safe. My response, I keep telling people that the false god weed, marijuana, is destroying our nation and peoples. But Afros and Indos are being brainwashed into adopting gang culture lifestyles, even though it leads to a premature and violent death. Parents, please listen to this. If you know that your child or children are affiliated with gangs, tell them to leave your home. You can love them from a distance. That doesn't mean you don't love them. That just means that you want to protect yourself and your family. Please note that a cutlass is no match to a firearm. So you don't even bother attempting to use it when confronted by armed criminals, people. This is why we need the right to bear arms legally. Sleep better. Say goodbye to stiff necks, headaches, and restless nights. Our premium cervical pillow is designed to perfectly support your neck and spine, keeping your body aligned while you sleep. Soft yet firm, it adapts to your shape, giving you ultimate comfort and deep, rejuvenating rest. Whether you sleep on your back, side, or stomach, this pillow reduces pressure points, eases tension, and helps you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Invest in your sleep. Your neck will thank you. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and feel the difference from the very first night. And some more local news that took place over the weekend. Missing businessman murdered and dumped over precipice. The body of Imraz Ali was reportedly found down a precipice on North Coast Road. The 60-year-old of Ajoda Road, Canupia, was last seen on September 4th, 2025. Condolences to the family. Up to now, we haven't been told what could have been the motive for the murder, but of course, who knows? Maybe this may end up remaining one of the unsolved mysteries here in Trinidad and Tobago, but at some point in time, the perpetrators of this crime may be apprehended, and hopefully, new policies can be put in place under this Kamala Prasad administration to ensure that the judicial system becomes effective and efficient. And therefore, within less than 5 years, all the court trials for these murder cases can be completed before 5 years, and these murderers can be legally sent into eternity. Regional news now, and we're starting off with Guyana. Minister Persaud warns against elderly exploitation. Abandonment Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vidya Prasad has sounded the alarm over a disturbing rise in cases where elderly citizens sign over their properties to relatives only to be neglected or abandoned shortly after. That sadly happens here in Trinidad and Tobago as well. I can't understand how human beings could do that to their own parents. I will never understand. You may not have had a perfect relationship with your parents growing up. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't continue to love and honor them. You yourself are not perfect either, people. Speaking on the starting point podcast recently, Dr. Prasad described heartbreaking instances of seniors left homeless and destitute mere weeks after transferring ownership of their homes. Rest assured, people, God sees and knows everything, and He will hold you accountable for your actions. Ladies, meet your new go-to bag, our mega duffel handbag. Perfect for your travel, shopping, the gym, and everything in between. Crafted from premium Oxford material, it's not just stylish, it's built to last. The ideal size, flawless design, and unbeatable quality make it the bag you'll reach for every time. Versatile and ready for anything. WhatsApp 762-6589 to order yours today. Police are investigating an alleged wounding incident involving a Coverdon family on the East Bank, Demerara, on Friday afternoon. The victim, 53-year-old housewife Indira Thomas, her 68-year-old husband William Thomas, a businessman, and their 18-month-old granddaughter, oh God boy, were reportedly attacked while stuck in traffic along the East Bank Road corridor at approximately 3:30 p.m. Our authorities have arrested 68-year-old Wilfred Aaron, a big hardback man doing them kind of thing, by a construction worker from Coverdon, in connection with the incident. Let the man spend a good 5 years in prison. You want to be bad man at that age? Well, good. You're going to end up reaching about 70 years before you come back out into society. News from Jamaica now. 2 persons died Friday night after a multi-vehicle crash along the Winston Jones Highway in Manchester. Need for Speed, I keep telling people over and over again, this Need for Speed culture has been adopted by citizens of Caribbean people throughout the region. The crash was reportedly triggered when a motorist swerved to avoid hitting a parked trailer. You were speeding that much that when you swerve, you lose total control. The deceased have been identified as 34-year-old Adrima Smith of Hearts Ease District and Evroy Dixon of Content, both in Manchester. Condolences to the family, people. But we need to end the Need for Speed culture, and probably the only way to do that is by force, by using or mandating that all vehicles are equipped with speed limiters. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Growth of 1% a year won't cut it. At that rate, it will take 70 years for the Jamaican economy to double in size and to bring the island's per capita GDP in range of some of its smaller Eastern Caribbean CARICOM partners. Precisely so, people. The recently re-elected Holness administration understands this, and I respect him for acknowledging that fact. Because for the past 10 years, as I said, when you look at all the different news reports from Jamaica, it's basically mediocre governance, and Jamaica's economy and development has almost been stagnant. So at least he's admitting that, which is a wonderful sign. However, after a decade entrenching its policy of macroeconomic stability, it hasn't been able to deliver on its aspiration of growth of 5% per annum, which was projected for after its 4 years in office. The father of 13-year-old Shantina Sargent, whose burnt and partial decomposed body was found behind her home in Baillieston, Northern Clarendon on Monday evening, is now in police custody. The Old Harbor Police in St. Catherine confirmed that 46-year-old Lawrence Marcus Sargent was captured in the area late Friday following a manhunt that began after the shocking discovery. Please don't tell me he's going to be charged and tried for manslaughter. That was murder. He deserves to be sent into eternity. Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 9D panoramic sound. Long battery life and fast charging. Control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift-ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information has launched Bully Proof Jamaica, a digital campaign aimed at tackling the damaging effects of bullying in schools and communities across Jamaica. And what they need to tell these youths and these children is that you shouldn't be afraid to go and make a complaint to your parents, teachers, dean, or whosoever. Do not remain silent while being abused by these bullies. With the rallying cry, block the hate, build the love, the ministry says it's affirming its commitment to ensuring that every child feels safe, supported, and valued. Wonderful, in my opinion. This policy should be adopted throughout the entire Caribbean and the world by extension. A 17-year-old boy has died after he was allegedly stabbed by his 14-year-old brother during a fight on Friday night over clothing in Comma Pen, St. Elizabeth, the police say. Most likely, I believe, I could be wrong, drugs is involved. These youths are smoking weed, they're high. And besides that, I'm telling you, gang culture, it affects the minds of these youths and individuals in general. They become desensitized to criminal acts, people. They really lack empathy and stuff like that. I'm telling you, we need to totally dismantle and destroy gang culture, whether it's in Trinidad, Guyana, Jamaica. The deceased has been identified as Raheem Thompson. The police say the incident occurred around 9:50 p.m. at their home when an argument between the brothers turned physical and a knife was used. I wonder how the surviving sibling is feeling now that you lost your brother and you took your brother's life over clothing. It doesn't matter even what the dispute was all about, but clothing of all things, my goodness. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. After more than 3 decades of waiting in vain, 2 landowners from St. Anne have taken the government to court, demanding US $4.4 million plus interest in compensation for a portion of land reportedly seized by the state to build the Ocho Rio bypass. The 2 claimants, who are also seeking damages for constitutional breaches, want an order of imprisonment for the Minister of Finance if there's no order for payment. My goodness. Well, I don't for sure that ain't going to happen. But obviously the people and them deserve justice if those actions weren't legitimate and constitutional by the state. Definitely those victims deserve justice. Moving on now to international news, 16-year-old Corian Evans from Mississippi is being called a real-life hero when a car carrying 3 teenage girls accidentally drove into a river in Pascagoula. Corian didn't think twice. He jumped into the dark water and swam toward them, helping all 3 girls, people, reach safety. My goodness, he should have been on Baywatch. But his bravery didn't stop there. a police officer trying to help, also began to struggle in the current, and Korean saved him too. That's alongside the incident that took place recently here in Trinidad. Local officials praised his incredible courage and quick action, saying he turned a possible tragedy into a powerful story of hope and humanity. Congratulations, my young brother. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability, 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Four members of Qatar's delegation involved in Gaza peace talks were killed when their vehicle overturned in Sharm el-Sheikh. Two were reportedly in intensive care, according to Egyptian and Qatari media. That was over the weekend. The Al Hadath channel reported that these were Qatari diplomats who worked at the Qatari embassy in Cairo. They were on their way from the Egyptian capital to Sharm el-Sheikh. From what I read also in the news, one of the victims was a deputy prime minister in Qatar. Of course, condolences to the families. Everyone knows my opinion of Qatar. It is a sponsor of terrorism. But if these individuals were genuinely attempting to try to bring peace between Israel and Qatar, which of course we know most likely isn't the case, but but of course, definitely it is sad, but we have to look at the other side of it. Maybe just maybe, these people had their hidden agendas and God caused judgment to fall on them. People will say, why am I saying such a thing? Read the Bible. If your heart is unclean and you definitely have an agenda to destroy God's people in Israel, God is going to make you stand the consequences for your actions. Wars and rumors of wars. Pakistani fighter jets attacked Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. Afghan forces launched a retaliatory attack along the border between the countries following Pakistan and army strikes in Kabul. Jihadists versus jihadists, but tell you, and then they just want to talk about genocide this and genocide that. I keep telling Trinis, local Trinis, they are Shiites and then they are Sunni jihadists. And these individuals have been at war for centuries. You all don't want to hear that. You all don't even care about that. All you care about is free Palestine. A Hamas official said the hostages were divided into several locations in the Gaza Strip in preparation for their handover. That was news from yesterday. The hostages would be released. That was the plan, from 3 different locations. The Hamas delegation will meet with the Red Cross to approve the hostages handover, and everyone knows that the Red Cross cannot be trusted. But thankfully, what I'm going to read in a little while is good news. Hamas, yes, so moving on. Mustard gas terror attack thwarted in the UK. A terror attack by mustard gas in the UK was prevented. A terrorist from East Yorkshire planned to carry out horrific attacks in places where many Israelis, where many Jews live. According to the police, the man also explored the possibility of reaching Gaza to fight alongside Hamas. These people have been indoctrinated. And the thing about it is they're even being radicalized by individuals on the right, like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. We are living in very serious and evil times, people. And even though there seems to be peace coming to the Middle East right now, it's going to be extremely temporary, and it's also going to be false. It's an illusion. That is what it is. Definitely. Some other news from the Middle East. The Saudi Al Hadath channel said the remains of Eli Cohen may soon be transferred to Israel. Cohen was Israel's legendary spy who infiltrated the highest ranks of the Syrian government. in the 1960s, providing critical intelligence that later helped Israel achieve victory in the Six-Day War, the historical Six-Day War that God intervened on their behalf. He was captured and executed in Damascus in 1965. God empowered those soldiers in order to be able to defeat and put fear into their enemies that came and surrounded them. A document discovered by the IDF in recent months in the Gaza Strip, written in Sinwar's own handwriting and dated August 2022, proves that the massacre on the August 7th, 2023 massacre was meticulously planned more than a year in advance. It was premeditated, people. It wasn't about oppression and they just acted out in anger. No, it was planned. It reveals that Sinwar had prepared a detailed plan aimed at nothing less than the destruction of the entire state of Israel. The horrors we witnessed during the massacre were premeditated. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz stated yesterday Israel's major challenge after the stage of returning the hostages will be the destruction of all Hamas terror tunnels in Gaza directly by the IDF and through the international mechanism to be established under the leadership and supervision of the United States. Because remember, demilitarization still has to take place, and that is what thus far Hamas doesn't want to agree to. I don't know if by today, later today, we might hear differently though. This is the main meaning of the implementing the principle agreed upon of demilitarizing Gaza and neutralizing Hamas from its weapons. I have instructed IDF to prepare to carry out the mission. I'm telling you, Israel isn't being blinded by this so-called peace. And even if demilitarization takes place in Gaza, they still have their enemies in Syria and Lebanon and all these different places and Iran to continue fighting against. Okay, so I said that there was going to be some good news, and it definitely is. But of course, as I said before, it doesn't mean that there's going to really be genuine peace in the Middle East. It's all an illusion when it pertains to this peace. That's the peace of the Antichrist. But let's get to what I was going to read there. Hamas released finally all 20 of the last living hostages on Monday. The Israeli military said it is part of a breakthrough ceasefire after 2 years of war between Israel and Hamas in the devastated Gaza Strip. Of course, CNC3 must add those little extra words like devastated Gaza Strip. I mean, it is devastated, but who caused it? Who caused it? But anyhow, it's the Hamas people. Hamas. Let me give the answer one time because next thing people think as though I'm saying is Israel. No. It's Hamas brought that upon themselves. CNC3 also reported large crowds gather in Judea and Samaria to greet Palestinians freed from prison. And the reason why I mentioned that it is CNC3 that reported that is because the way that they stated it, and they didn't say Judea and Samaria, they said the occupied West Bank. I changed it to state Judea and Samaria because that's the actual names of those territories. But they made it look as though, Israel was just holding these Palestinians wrongfully in captivity, which is not true. My response, I hope born-again Christians who haven't been deceived by replacement theology, that is a very evil theology, observing the joyful reactions of our own fellow citizens and mainstream media when it pertains to the release of thousands of convicted criminals simply because they are Palestinians, people. I tell you, it's just like with the case with P. Diddy, they want that man to be released simply because he is Afro. The Israeli hostages, were captured by terrorists, even though their only crime was being an Israeli. These were law-abiding citizens that were captured by these terrorists on October 7th, 2023. On the other hand, Israel was forced to release hundreds of criminals who sadly would one day seek to kill and destroy Israelis once given the opportunity to do so again, especially if there's still a Palestinian Authority and a two-state solution is really agreed upon. People, the bloodshed sadly will continue. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscription is extremely important, especially to boost the algorithms. Today is budget day, so of course tomorrow, God's willing, I'll be giving you all an update about the policies and let us see how much of the promises that were made during the Kamala Prasad administration's election campaign, how much of those promises will be kept or made during this first year of their term in office. Remember, all promises cannot be fulfilled within just 1 year. A manifesto is something that is presented to give an idea of all what will be accomplished within the next 5 years. But there are certain things that I am hoping to hear about today, including definitely the 10% salary increase for public servants. And in my opinion, there should be a removal of the VAT from food items, just as promised during the UNC election campaign. Nevertheless, people, stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.